I want Noel to love this book. I love this book. So I do have a radical idea to change it up, but this is writer's life. This is occasionally you take a day to have a long lunch with a friend and talk about whether or not your book is salvageable. This is Jeffe Kennedy, also writing as Jennifer K. Lambert, author of epic fantasy romance. Good morning, everyone. I'm here with my first cup of coffee. Ah, delicious. Today is Tuesday, November 4th, Election Day here in the U.S. These are just midterms, just not even midterm elections. They're what? Quasi-term elections. In New Mexico, we're electing a new governor. Our previous governor is stepping down. Alas, she's been amazing, so it's sad to see her go. But there's great people coming up in her footsteps, so that should be fine. Be fine. As I said to David this morning, we were just talking about what we have going on today. Um, and I'm having some furniture delivered, which is very exciting. And then I said, and we should go vote. And he went, yes. So that was just, that's like, yes, we have to. Yeah, I just was so sure that nobody would want to elect Trump again, that they knew what he had tried to do the first time. And I remember the morning after the election, we got this huge, huge snowfall and this drenching snowfall here in Santa Fe that was almost oppressive. It would have been beautiful, except that we were so depressed and so upset and full of dread for the future. Yeah, it felt apocalyptic.
The Pennsylvania Attorney General's office says that it is aware of disturbing mass text messages that are circulating around the state and the U.S. Black women have taken to social media sharing this message that says, quote, "You have been selected to pick cotton at the nearest plantation." Local school districts now sounding the alarm and warning parents about this.
We control your bodies. Guess what? Guys win again, okay? Men win again. And yes, we control your bodies. Hi, I'm your Republican congressman.
If you have voting in your area, get out there and vote. And just, even if you don't know anything about anyone, just don't vote for Republicans. I mean, I have always been a down the line Democratic voter, and I feel like have been vindicated in this. I mean, I did have a pretty good writing week. It wasn't as great as I wanted, but I'm at 57,000 words on Magic Reborn, and sort of feeling in sight of the deadline. Um, I did not, because I spun out on Friday, I did not end up beating, I did not beat January and February. Those were still my best word count months of the year. But it was the best month since then by a lot. The second best month was 27,461 words back in May. And for October, I got final total was 40,309. So, I'm trying to be appreciative of the words that I did get. So the other parts of my weekend were I spent all day pretty much doing that a day with Santa Fe authors, which was interesting. Got to spend some time with Megan afterwards. Got my hair done. more red in my hair now. Back to normal amounts of red or ideal amounts of red. And then, by then I got home at like 6, so that was the day. And then Sunday, I want to say yesterday, but it was actually Sunday. I went to the Books on the Bosque in Albuquerque, which was a fantastic bookstore. We had an amazing event. There were lots of people there, sold lots of books. I signed lots of books. They're eager to do the launch event for Among the Thorns next July. It's a great bookstore, and there's an amazing little French pastry shop right down the way from it. And also a wonderful Italian restaurant, Matucci's, where I had dinner. with a friend, and it was fabulous. It was an ideal event. It was perfect. And so it was really good for me to go out and do this thing where it was like, okay, it's still validation. I know I'm always saying don't look for that external validation, but sometimes it's good to have. I had I've had an interesting time since we last spoke on Friday. So I got an email from my editor on Among the Thorns, and it was, frankly, a shocking email that sent me into a bit of a tailspin. And I don't think she intended it to be as shocking as it was, but she sent me an email saying that she had one idea that she suggested removing a character, removing an entire character. So I'll be honest, I freaked out. Fortunately, I have an amazing agent. I texted Sarah and I said, I can't with this email. I just don't even know how can I possibly do this. And she got on the phone with me. And this is why when I talk about, like what you want in an agent, and I know that it's difficult when you're a newbie writer because you really feel like you want an agent, any agent at all. And believe me, you don't want a bad agent. But when you think about what you want in an agent, and a lot of people want like the high powered snazzy agents, the really shiny name agents, which is cool. And sometimes it works out fine. And now at this point, I think Sarah Younger at Nancy Yost Literary, I think she is kind of a shiny, fancy name agent. She's accessible. I can text her and she will text me back immediately. She'll be like, I'm on the phone right now. Let me call you in 5 minutes, which is basically what she did. And I ended up talking to her 3 times on Friday at various iterations. And she got on the phone with my editor and to clarify, find out what's going on. But I'll be honest with y'all, I cried. So Sarah was very sympathetic and she's like, I'm sorry that you're so upset. And I said, I just, like, how do you fix it? And removing this pivotal character, and I did ask several different people, just it doesn't make sense. I don't even know how I could do it because the character's too integral to the plot. And I don't have to. That's the thing. This is always the pushback. Some authors represent working with traditional publishing as like they give you a mandate and they tell you that you have to do something a particular way. And they don't. You don't have to do anything a particular way. But for me, the push pull, the difficulty comes in when, like I respect my editor's opinion a great deal. So it's like I don't want to disregard this editorial suggestion, right? But at the same time, I have to figure out for myself what's right about the book. So anyway, Jim offered to read it again over the weekend. So then I met Jim for lunch and we talked about the book. And the upshot is he doesn't agree with removing that character. And we talked about making a huge change. When somebody tells you something's not working, they're almost always right. And when they tell you how to fix it, they're almost always wrong. So I feel like this fix that is being suggested by my editor is wrong. It's not going to fix anything, and I think it would undermine the book. So then it becomes my job to look at what is the problem that she is trying to fix. The question then becomes, and Jim and I had a great lunch. We had wine. I said, I'm having wine. He's like, you could deserve to have wine at this point. And we shared a really wonderful salad, and then I had amazing chicken scallopini. This was at Matucci's. It was a great lunch. We had a lot of fun. And Jim said, it's a really solid book. And my editor says it's a really solid book. So it's this, the thing is that Never the Roses was magic. And it is very difficult to recapture magic, or actually impossible. You just can't do it. And one thing Jim said is, it's like Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, right? That I am not going to be able to write Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but I've written Prince Caspian, and now I can go on to write the rest of the series. And I said, I'm trying to remember what happened in Prince Caspian, and he's like, yeah, I can't remember either. I'm like, this is maybe not the ideal analogy. This is my ideal. Finish Magic Reborn, I'm going to sit on all these thoughts. I'm going to go through the notes that are sent that are all in the manuscript and see how long I think it's going to take me to do this. And I'm talking with Agent Sarah this afternoon to form a strategy. Maybe we'll do a Zoom call with my editor to sort this out. I'm still not clear on what problem she's trying to fix. And I'm very clear that the solution she's proposing is not the right one. And she even said to me in the email that she sent last night, that it's totally up to me. She's like, it's your name on the cover, you decide. But, I also want this to be, I want you all to love this book. I love this book. So I do have a radical idea to change it up that might, and when Jim suggested it, I felt the juice. And it's like when someone suggests a thing and you get that zing of energy. And I think that could actually work, but it would still take me time to do. I think that I could maybe pull this off. So I'm going to sit on it. I'm going to think about it, and we'll see. But this is, I suppose, one of those writer's life things. When we talk about writer's life, we always think of, like long walks and contemplation and absorbing the zen of the universe or what have you. But this is writer's life. This is occasionally you take a day to have a long lunch with a friend and talk about whether or not your book is salvageable, and you cry at an email from your editor, and then you try to figure out what your schedule is going to be and how you're going to create on that schedule. It's not very dramatic, is it? Not very romantic. All right. On this note, I am going to get to work looking at edits, and then I'm probably going to write on Magic Reborn, I think. And I really want to get this done in time for release. Wish me luck. All right. I will talk to you all on Friday. You all take care. Bye-bye.